Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on which time zone you're joining us from. And a warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you so much for taking your time to join this session. And it's great to see all you here. Yes, and thank you again for joining. And my name is Saumya, and I have a pleasure of hosting this very special masterclass where our speaker Devraj Hebur, who will be walking you through through this masterclass. And we have planned this special session to be engaging and fun masterclass. So keep sending in your comments and questions. So if you have any, and we will answer them towards the end of the session. And yes, to introduce about Devraj Abur, he's coming with 26 years of hands-on experience in global end-to-end delivery and performance improvement of people, processes, and tools in the IT and telecom space. So he has excellent understanding of the project management, ITIL, DevOps, Agile, Safe and Agile frameworks, and has a proven track record for increasing productivity, quality, and customer satisfaction throughout the automation and process improvement. So he has also delivered 400 plus sessions for public and corporate candidates across PMP, Prince2, and Prince2 Agile, and various other categories. And yes, so are you ready to start this session?
Thank you, Soumya. Thank
Yeah,
you very much for giving a quick introduction about myself.
thank you.
Very good afternoon and good evening to all whoever is on this webinar. Hope you all have a good day today. So let's start with this webinar. The whole purpose of this webinar is to get to know about the PRINCE2 Project Management Certification, one of the leading project management certifications in the world today. So our agenda for today's webinar, let's start with a brief history of PRINCE2, how this has got originated, where did it started first, where are we today. Then we do a quick introduction about this project management methodology. Why do we need methodologies for managing projects? Why do we need a framework? Or what makes projects different? We'll get a quick understanding about it. Then we'll go through the structure of PRINCE2 framework, how this PRINCE2 is organized, what is this framework all about. Then we will look at this PRINCE2 framework, the core principles on which this entire methodology is built upon. Then we'll understand who are the target group of people who should take up these training and certifications. We'll go through the certification roadmap and the examination format. And finally, what are the benefits of having this certification? We have a lot of agenda points. Let's start. Brief history. It all started almost close to 50 years now. This methodology is in practice. Started in 1975. It used to be popularly known as Project Management Method, PROMPT. That's where the acronym started. And then slowly PRINCE2 replaced this acronym PROMPT, and a major version of this methodology got released in the year 2009. And in 2017, a minor updates happened to the methodology. So in case if you take up this certification, this is popularly known as now PRINCE2 2017 version, because some updates happened to the framework in the year 2017. It's one of the leading project management frameworks in the world today. There are two major methodologies. One is PMP from Project Management Institute, and the other one is PRINCE2 from AXLOS, accredited by AXLOS. AXLOS is the accredited organization for this, and PeopleCert is the examination partner. KnowledgeHut is one of the leading accredited training organizations with AXLOS and PeopleCert to deliver PRINCE2 trainings and certifications. It is one of the biggest advantage of PRINCE2 methodology is it's a generic framework flexible, you can tailor it, you can customize it to the needs of your own organization. There is no rule that you need to exactly copy paste everything given in the methodology and apply in your projects. You can look at the environment of your project, complexity of your project, requirements of your project, and you can tailor the methodology as per the needs. That's the biggest advantage with this framework. Suitable for any projects, any size, any environment, any culture, any business, manufacturing, communications, software development, healthcare, government projects, anywhere. It is a easily goable framework. In fact, PRINCE2 is considered as the default project management framework in many government organizations in Europe, especially in UK. Question always comes, why do I need a framework for managing projects? Or how do projects make us different from other activities within an organization? I think we have listed down some key characteristics on this slide. First one, every project is unique. You may be starting a new project today in your company. The project may be very similar to someone else done in your organization last year. Even then, the project is very unique. Possibly, the team could be different. Last time, there were very friendly people in the customer organization. But now, you might have some challenging customers within the customer organization. Timing could be different. Last year, the project was executed in the first half of the year. Now, you may be doing the project in the second half of the year. So, any project will always have some uniqueness. That's the first challenge. Second, every project introduces change. The changes could be on the processes, changes could be on the culture, changes could be on the tools, technology, changes could be on the way we run a particular team. Every project introduces some change to the current way of doing things in your own organization. That's the reason we call projects as non-BAU. They are not business as usual. Business as usual is nothing but your operations, day-to-day stuff. You keep on doing the same work repeatedly over a period of time. You get expertise. You become master in that. But projects, every time there will be uniqueness. Every project introduces some changes. And when we talk about this change, it's a very interesting discussion. I can talk about this hours and hours, right? In any organization you go, there are two major elements. One is projects, second operations. Fundamentally, these two exist in any company for some different reasons. Projects exist in order to deliver market opportunities, requirements coming from the customers. Their main objective is to introduce change, respond to the market. Whereas operations exist to protect existing customers, existing services, stability, that's their focus. Because of these non-conflicting objectives, there is always a friction between the two teams, project and operations. That's why success of a project depends upon how effectively you deliver that project with minimal impact on the current operations. Next, projects are temporary. Every project has a defined start, a defined end. You can't keep running project continuously. Unlike operations, operations exist as long as that product or service exists in the company. Operations exist as long as that process exists in the company. Whereas projects, they have a defined start, defined end. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. It could be 1 year. The next characteristic, very interesting, cross-functional. Projects are cross-functional. What does this mean? Today, We are moving into the world where we do projects based on matrix based or projectized. What does this mean? We'll have a project contributed by different teams. Let me take an example of a software development project. Which are the teams supporting in this project? Product management, product owners, project manager, business analysts, process analysts, architects, design teams, developers, testers, deployment teams, release teams, legal, finance, procurement, learning and development. There are different cross-functional teams come together. They form a virtual organization to deliver a project. The challenge here is most of these functional teams who come towards for a project, they will have their own functional reporting, plus they will have a dotted line reporting to the project. On top of this, the another challenge is most of these resources will be shared resources. When I say shared resources, let me take an example of a DevOps architect. A DevOps architect in an organization may be working on 2 to 3 projects simultaneously. He may be spending, let's say, 30% of his effort on project A, another 25% on project B, another 30% on another project. As a project manager, it's important for you to how effectively you utilize the available 25% bandwidth of this resource to your project. That's where the success of the project depends upon. And you also need to manage the dependencies. Projects are cross-functional. Looking at these characteristics, projects are unique, projects introduce change, projects are temporary, projects are cross-functional. Every project carries some degree of uncertainty. We call it as a risk. We don't know in every project that uncertainty always exists. We are not sure whether we are able to deliver this project effectively or not. Because of these characteristics, projects are different compared to operations. And that is where there is a need for understanding this project management, a properly structured training associated with a certification. And that's where PRINCE2 comes into a role play. What is PRINCE2 talks about from a project management perspective? There are 4 key areas here. We call it as art and science of project management. Planning, delegating, monitoring, and controlling. PRINCE2 gives a lot of emphasis on roles and responsibilities. We are going to explore different roles within a project, including project manager. I'm not going into details in this webinar. This will be the part of our training. However, on a very high level, there are different management levels in PRINCE2 project. Each management level does some planning. They do some work. They delegate some work to the level below. Once they delegate the work, normally the practice with all of us is we forget. I have delegated the work to someone. He will take care of it. That's not the intent here. The way PRINCE2 structured this methodology is, even though that management level has delegated the work to the level below, they are still accountable. So they will be keep monitoring how the work is progressing. As long as the train is going on the right track, everyone is fine. But projects are not meant for it. There are going to be challenges in projects. Train is expected to go off track. And that is where this management level exercise control to ensure that the train is brought back on the track. That's why we call it as planning, delegating, monitoring, and controlling. What do we plan? What do we delegate? What do we monitor? What do we control? PRINCE2 defines them as the 6 performance targets or aspects. That's time, cost, scope, quality, risk, and benefits. In project management world, There is a famous saying, triple constraints. A success of a project depends upon how effectively you deliver a project within the triple constraints. What are those triple constraints? We also call it as an iron triangle: scope, time, cost. If you see in any project, if you touch, for example, scope, it will impact your time and cost. If you touch timelines, it will impact your cost and scope. So they are constraints. They are mutually dependent upon each other. Along with that, PRINCE2 also introduces 3 more additional aspects: benefits, quality, as well as risk. The success of a project depends upon when you are effectively able to deliver a project meeting these 6 performance targets. And that's what these 4 management levels in PRINCE2, they plan, they delegate, they monitor and control these 6 performance targets. How is the PRINCE2 structure made up of? What are the different components of this methodology? In an essence, PRINCE2 is a combination of 4 integrated elements. First one, principles. Principles are like a foundation block based upon which the framework is set up. You take any professional methodology, a training or a certification today, they all have supported by their own set of principles. Same way, PRINCE2. Then we have 7 themes, different areas of a project which project manager has to address on a continual basis. They are the areas of the project. It is not sufficient if I address them only in the beginning of the project. I need to ensure I address these areas on a continual basis throughout the project. They are the themes. Processes. Most of us are familiar about what is a process. A process is nothing but a structured set of activities in order to achieve a specific objective. A process takes some inputs, it delivers some outputs. PRINCE2 project, from the time you start till you deliver the project, it is in the form of these 7 processes. So it gives a clear guidance about how to structure a project and how to deliver a project end to end. And then project environment. It is also popularly known as tailored to suit specific project environment. As I mentioned earlier, PRINCE2 is not a rigid methodology where you can take this and exactly you need to apply it in every project in your organization. No. PRINCE2 is a flexible methodology. It gives very detailed guidance about a overall project management. However, considering the complexity, the size, the scale, the business domain of your projects, you can tailor it, you can customize this methodology to your needs. When I say tailoring, generally we think cutting short, minimizing something. That's one part. Tailoring can also be maximizing the methodology. This framework is so beautiful and effective that, let's say you are doing a project in your company, your colleague, another PM is also doing a project. You are performing one of the most complex projects in your company, never done before, too much technical complex, lot of user groups involved, lot of suppliers involved, multiple geographies this project is being delivered. What you do is you still follow the PRINCE2, but you maximize the methodology. You create additional roles. You create additional management products. You go with a more detailed formal documentations. PRINCE2 gives that guidance. At the same time, your colleague, another PM, is also delivering a project in your company. That's a project which your company has done very similar projects, many projects historically. You know how those projects works. You don't see much risk, complexity. There is no external supplier involved. Supplier is your own internal. Minimum number of user groups, minimum number of teams are involved. He will also use PRINCE2. He will also apply tailoring. He will minimize the methodology. That's the one of the biggest benefit of using this methodology in the project management world. And when we get into the actual training and certifications, this is very interesting topic, and we are going to cover with lot of real life examples to understand how this is beneficial to us. So the structure of PRINCE2 in summary is a combination of 4 integrated elements, 7 principles, 7 themes, 7 processes, and how do we tailor PRINCE2 to a specific project environment. So as I said, the entire framework is a combination of these 4 elements, 7 principles, which are the guiding obligations, themes, the areas of the project which we need to address on a continual basis, processes, 7 processes again, stepwise progression, how do we run a project start to end, and project environment. I talked about it already. We are going to explore each of these integrated elements in more detail with lot of real world examples. What makes a project a PRINCE2 project? How do you showcase? How do you prove that you're applying PRINCE2 framework in your projects in your organization? There are some guidance. First thing, all 7 principles you need to follow, you need to apply. You cannot skip 1 or 2 principles and you say, I will only apply 3 or 4. No, all 7 principles has to be applied. There are 7 themes. Each theme has to be applied. However, within each theme, you can apply tailoring. You can minimize it, you can maximize it based on the needs of your project. When you are minimizing it, you need to still follow some bare minimum requirements. Processes, yes, 7 processes. It can be combined based on the needs of the project. PRINCE2 gives a lot of emphasis on tools and techniques. And PRINCE2 also gives a flexibility about whether you can use the PRINCE2 recommended techniques or any other equivalent techniques, and PRINCE2 as a methodology goes along with those techniques. These are the 7 principles, very interesting principles. Continued business justification. Most of us project managers, we are experts in ensuring that we have a valid justification before we start a project. In fact, in many organizations, we are not even allowed to start a project without a justification. But what PRINCE2 says is that justification should remain valid throughout the project. The problem today is most of us never look at business case once it is approved in the beginning. We forget it. This principle will tell you, will ensure that we need to apply, we need to assess this justification at regular intervals. How do we do that? We will explore it in the training. Learn from experience. 3 parts to it. PRINCE2 gives a clear guidance. 1, you learn from previous projects when you start a project. You apply them. 2nd, you generate your own lessons and you apply them in your own project. 3rd, before you close a project, ensure you have sufficient lessons created for future projects. Learn from experience. Define roles and responsibilities. PRINCE2 gives a lot of emphasis on the teams, different teams involved in a project, who will do what are their responsibilities, and what are their accountabilities. Very beautiful guidance is provided. Manage by stages. PRINCE2 does not follow, or PRINCE2 does not recommend to manage a project using technical stages. What do you mean by technical stages? For example, you are doing a research and development project. How do you face that project technically? You start with defining a hypothesis. You evaluate the hypothesis. If the hypothesis is proven, You will start with a pilot, you design it, you execute it, you prove it, then you go for a next levels. If you take a construction of a house, what do you mean by managing this construction project technically? You starts with architecture, then structural design, foundation, columns, roofing, staircase, walls. That's how you go it. They are called managing a project using technical work. And the technical work varies from one business to another business. In construction industry, the technical stages are different. In software development, technical stages are different. In an infrastructure project, technical stages are different. So Prince2 cannot be generic if the Prince2 follows technical stages. And that's the reason Prince2 manage a project using management stages. Very interesting concept. Management stages are the key decision control points at which we stop the project momentarily. We review how we have performed so far, what is our forecast. If it is justified, then only we will continue. And Prince2 recommends a set of management products, project artifacts, which will give us a clear guidance about how the project is going. Manage by exception, another beautiful principle. Prince2 defines different management levels. Each management level delegates the work to the level below. When they delegate the work, they tell to the level below, look, I'm delegating the work to you. You have the authority. You go ahead and deliver the project. Don't disturb my time every day. However, I'm also, while delegating, I'm defining some tolerance levels. You're authorized to make your own decisions as long as you are within the tolerance. At any point of time, if you're going to forecast that you'll be breaching this tolerance, that's an exception. Stop the work, come back to me. I will make a decision. Efficient economic use of management time. That's managed by exception principle. Focus on products. Prince2 gives lot of emphasis on delivery. What to deliver, delivery part. Rather than how do you do it, it gives lot of emphasis on what we are going to do in a project. Focus on products. Prince2 categorizes products into specialist products and management products. A very interesting discussion. We'll cover it in the training. Tailor to suit the project. This is also one of the integrated elements. This is also one of the 7 principles, which I have already covered. Who should do this training and certification? Project managers, definitely. They are the key guys. And whoever wants to become project managers, there are a lot of people, professionals who are currently working in PMO, project management office, who are working as project coordinators, project expediters. They want to augment in their career as a project manager role. This is the right certification for them. And even lot of people who involved in design development and mostly on the technical work, they want to move towards the management side. A lot of people are doing these certifications. And even the team members, product delivery, project assurance, business analysts, project support, people from the PMO office. Prince2 is now become like a default certification, a bare minimum foundational certification in the project management space. It's like a given thing now. You can see any job description today, you see a requirement for a project management certification. There are different levels of this certification. One is a Prince2 Foundation, a 2-day course, a 16 hours course. You will get access to the KnowledgeHut proprietary material. You will get flashcards, you will get videos, you will get recorded sessions of your own training, plus you will get a self-reading materials, plus lot of access to sample exams. And the trainer himself during the training will be discussing lot of real life examples. That's Prince2 Foundation. Say similar approach you will have for PRINCE2 Practitioner, again a 2-day course, 16 hours. You'll get a similar benefits and advantages in the practitioner training as well. PRINCE2 Foundation is a prerequisite to do practitioner certification training. And lot of batches we do in KnowledgeHut is a combination of both foundation and practitioner. Participants will finish both the levels of training and certifications, and they get enabled themselves to take up their certification exams. It's a 4-day course, or we split it into 4 hours of 8 sessions, where you no need to spend the entire day. You can spend 4 hours, so that it will also become easier to digest the informations, and another remaining part you can go back and work on your normal activities or on the job activities. So people also, you can take up this option of foundation and practitioner. Examination format: foundation, you will have multiple choice, objective type. Each question you will have 4 options. You need to choose the right one. All questions are single response questions. Each question carry 1 mark. You no need to, there is no negative marking. You should attempt all 60 questions and you will have 1 hour time. And it is 33 you need to score out of 60, which is 55%, and it's a closed book exam. Practitioner, again, it's a different exam altogether. In practitioner, we are going to discuss a real life case study. An organization conducting PRINCE2, what are the different scenarios, challenges they come up with. As a project manager, how do you apply the methodology in that real life scenario? This is what we are going to cover in practitioner. Again, the certification exam will be in the form of objective type. You will not have any descriptive type. That's the good thing. So you'll have a combination of multiple choice, match the following, and this will be a longer duration exam, 150 minutes. And as I said earlier, you need to complete your foundation to take up this exam. And you need to score again 55%, which is 38 out of 68. And this is an open book exam. When I say open book, you are allowed to use the PRINCE2 official manual. The name of the manual is called Managing Successful Projects using PRINCE2 2017 edition. When you subscribe to this training, practitioner training with KnowledgeHut, you will get your own copy, licensed copy of the manual from PeopleSir directly, which you can use during the exam. Plus, you can also use this manual as a practice in your own organization when you're following PRINCE2 in your projects. This guidance will help you a lot. Very beautifully designed end-to-end framework is available. You will get a copy of that. Plus, as I said earlier, with KnowledgeHut, you will also get that Prism and access to a Prism. KnowledgeHut has developed a beautiful knowledge management platform called Prism. You'll all get access to this Prism, where you can access videos, recorded sessions of your own training, flashcards. You will get access to reading materials. Plus, you will get access to a lot of sample exams, assessments, which will help you to gain knowledge as well as prepare for the actual certification exam. Benefits of PRINCE2 certification. Before we get into the benefits, I think, yeah, it's one of the proven best practice. I'll come back to this slide later. Especially if you look at these numbers, PRINCE2 is now applied in most of the industries, whether it is IT, manufacturing, banking, retail, healthcare, the list goes on. One of the top 10 in-demand certifications today. There is a good incremental people have seen in their salaries, promotions after achieving this certification. Suitable for most of the projects as we discussed. It provides a common vocabulary, proven in practice. The principles what has been in this PRINCE2 framework, they have been proven in practice. They have delivered results. It gives an added confidence to the project managers, project practitioners to deliver projects most effectively. And you are able to manage. I think one of the another key distinguishing factor in this methodology is communication. Lot of surveys have done in the industry. One of the biggest contributor to failure of the projects is communication. So PRINCE2 gives lot of emphasis on communication. It has a separate topic altogether about stakeholders. How do we identify them? How do we devise different communication methodologies to these stakeholders? So it gives lot of emphasis on that communication as well. I think that's about a very quick overview of this PRINCE2 training, the framework, and the certification part. I'm happy to take up any Q&As, whichever you can post it on the Q&A window on the Zoom link. While you continue to post those questions, I will hand over to Soumya for rest of the part. Thank you
Thank
all.
you. Thank you, Devraj. And so guys, so are you ready to start your PRINCE2 journey with KnowledgeHut as your course learning training partner? So let me tell you why you should choose KnowledgeHut as your PRINCE2 learning partner. And so what all you get from this, so everything I will tell you in detail. Yes, Devraj, you can move to next slide.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Next
I think
slide.
there are some questions coming in. You can address them also. I think they are coming on the chat window.
Yes. Sure. Then we can take the
Yeah.
question.
You want this slide or next one?
Yeah, this is okay. And next slide, yes. So this is the question from Norman. How much is the PRINCE2 course? We'll come to that part, Norman. Just, yeah. Okay. So the previous slide. Yeah.
Want to go to the previous slide, Soumya?
Yes, Devraj. Yeah.
Just a second.
No problem.
This one?
Yes. So as Devraj, explained you earlier, so KnowledgeHut is a certified partner of Axelos and accredited training organization with PeopleCert. So Axelos Limited is the people behind PRINCE2 and a wealth of other world-renowned practices, methods, and certifications. And PeopleCert International is the sole examination institute so for the delivery of Axelos accreditation and examination services worldwide, right? So these are the advantages that you get with KnowledgeHut. And next slide. Yeah, so the main advantage that you receive is an immersive learning experience. So you get all of these listed topics here, which is immersive learning, work-life experiences, outcome-focused, and blended learning. So you get on-demand videos, assessments, flashcards, and recall quizzes, comprehensive assignments, and all other listed here. So this is an immersive learning platform for you people. And yes, Cage, as a workforce management organization, we have more than 4 lakh 50,000 plus alumni and 4,500 plus enterprise partners across 100 plus countries. And the another key differentiator for KnowledgeHut is the advanced immersive hands-on and AI-based learning platform, which is called Prism. And let me tell you guys, no other company, comes close to what Prism has to offer. Like features like Cloud Labs, where you can practice within your browser, and there is no need for additional software. And the real-time insight that learners get so they can improve in their weaknesses makes us stand out from the crowd. Next slide, Deepak. And this is what I was talking about. You will get live instructor-led sessions, comprehensive self-paced videos, cloud lab exercises and assessments, problem-solving sessions, and progress reports. This is the tool which I was talking about. And yes, next slide. Also, these are the exclusive bonuses for you people who are in this session currently. So you'll get Agile and Scrum lifetime access, complimentary gift worth rupees 2150, and your exclusive discount on your enrollment to Prince2 training, and 30 minutes one-on-one slots with our expert Prince2 trainer instructor. So if you enroll now, you get all these exclusive bonuses for you. Yes, we can take the questions now, Devraj. So that's it from my side.
Thank you, Soumya.
Yes.
Any questions? Happy to take. I think there was one question on the commercials part. I think it's already answered. So any other questions? I'm happy to take up.
You can move to the next slide. So there's the price listed there. So they can get to know the price of the session also. So this
Sure.
is what it includes. We have 1 month, 3 months, and the lifetime access, which is 2158, and it is a free gift for you guys. And this course includes 8 hours of on-demand videos, 13 auto-graded assessments, 11 assignments, 13 recall quizzes, and 13 ebooks in this. So yeah, if you enroll now, you'll get all of these. And additionally, if you register with us now today, we have activated a special coupon code only for you, which is a Master Prince 2. You can use this while you're enrolling to the course, which is in the next slide. Yeah, this is the code, guys. So what are you waiting for? Go and get enrolled for the course right now. Yeah, we can take any questions now. So, guys, if you have any questions for Devraj, please feel free to, comment or text in the chat window or question answers window. We can take that up and answer all your questions or queries or any doubts you have. The stage is open for you guys. You can now answer. You can take any questions. So yes, Norman Johnson is asking, is there a self-paced course?
So Soumya, will you be taking up the question, or you want me to answer?
You can answer, yeah.
Yeah, there are. Yes, Norman. There are self-paced courses also available with KnowledgeHut. You can choose whether instructor-led trainings. You can choose self-paced courses. There are recorded video sessions available if you are comfortable doing this course only with the recorded video sessions. I think those options are also available. You can all discuss them with later with KnowledgeHut point of contacts.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Norman. I hope that answered your question. So, any other questions? Now, we can give a couple of more seconds for the questions to come in. Any questions or any suggestions if you have, anything is fine. All right. So if there are no questions coming in, then I think we can wrap up this session, Devraj. And your
Thank
feedback
you.
is very essential for improving and making our work better. So you'll be directed to a feedback form once the session ends. So request you all to give us your valuable feedback there. And thank you everyone for your time. And thank you, Devraj. And
Yes, Norman. Norman, yes, this course prepares you for both foundation and practitioner. If you enroll for both foundation and practitioner, yes, it prepares you for both the certifications.
yes.
Norman, you can unmute and speak.
Okay. Do most people, do they typically just go ahead and go straight for the practitioner, or do they go for the foundation first?
Okay. Norman, I think you have to do the foundation. There is no, it's very difficult to do practitioner directly. First of all, two things. You can do practitioner directly provided if you are already a PMP certified. There are some
Okay.
criterias for that. Okay. Otherwise,
Okay.
otherwise, foundation is a prerequisite for practitioner. And one is the rule wise also you need to do foundation and then only you should go to practitioner in case if you are not PMP certified. And also foundation is where the entire framework will be covered. Practitioner is more of a scenario based assessments, right? So it's important to get foundation first and then move on to practitioner.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Norman.
Thank
Have any
you.
other questions, Norman?
No, thank you. That answered
Thank
it.
you. Thanks, Norman. Thank
Yes.
you all.
Thank you, Norman, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Devraj, and cheers, everybody. We'll see you in the next session.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.